Don't believe everything you've heard about email marketing. I've run several different email lists for over 10 years. I've managed email lists in niches or niches like writing, fintech, food and drinks, and even NFTs. Don't ask about that one. I hate to do the math, but I've sent over 7 million emails to my lists over the years. I started my first email list back in 2014 on MailChimp. 12 months later, I realized that MailChimp is more suitable for e-commerce providers and local businesses. So I ended up settling on ConvertKit or Kit, and I've been with them since 2016. Now I change software as a service or SaaS tools regularly, but I've stuck with ConvertKit or Kit longer than most SaaS companies. That's because it's built for creators. Managing multiple email lists is oddly stressful, and coming up with content for all of them is a challenge. And the worst thing you can do is grow an email list and then forget to send them content. That's because your lists can stagnate and die. And I've made that mistake with more than one side project. You see, the best email marketers or newsletter owners create content consistently and they press send several times a week. And some of the most profitable content creators I know send daily newsletters. So I merged all of my email lists that were relevant to my audience a few years ago. And I closed down most of the ones that I don't spend time on. Here are a few lessons from my years of smashing the send button. Number 1, segmentation is mostly a waste of time. I was coaching a client recently who wanted to segment her email list into different buckets. Cool strategy and good advice you'll come across regularly. The only problem is she has 757 subscribers. Most smaller newsletter owners can do just fine by emailing their entire list. Now, a few exceptions exist. If you've got tens of thousands of subscribers, or if you've spent a lot of money on paid ads, and if you want to email content to customers only and not just your entire list, then consider segmentation. But if you have a few hundred subscribers, or even just a few thousand subscribers, say under 10k, segmentation is usually more work than it's worth. So apply a bit of 80-20 thinking. You're better off spending your time trying to grow your list. Number 2, subject line A/B testing won't do much for your newsletter. Do you know what skyrocketed my open rates and click-through rates? Well, it wasn't split testing my email subject lines. That's a classic case of perceived productivity. You do something, get some stats, but what does it actually do for your business? Does it actually add to your bottom line? Unless you're selling products in volume, you're better off writing another email or coming up with a new offer. Creating content, sending regular emails, and making offers, they're the real A/B test. So create and pitch more and track those stats rather than your open rates. Number 3, writing under your personal name is harder, but it's more rewarding. For a while, for one of my lists, I copied and pasted content from my articles on my site and used them as teasers for a type of weekly newsletter. Chances are you've gotten this type of content from other website publishers. Freelancers wrote the articles on my site, and the goal of my newsletter was to drive traffic to them. And some creators I know crush it with this business model, but I've stopped doing it. You see, I'm having more fun writing emails under my own name. And because I'm writing them under my own name, I get more responses from my subscribers and readers. Now, it is harder work because I'm also being accountable in public. Number 4, most creators don't email their list enough. I started out by sending 1 email per month. I didn't want to annoy my list. Then I moved to 1 per week, and now I send daily emails. Now that might be overkill if you've got a small list, or you've got less than 1,000 subscribers. But writing a daily email gets easier if you practice. It's kind of like lifting weights at the gym. And I also like writing daily emails because I can learn more about what my audience wants from their responses or lack thereof. And I get a kick out of practicing in public under my own name. Since I started writing daily emails under my own name instead of copying and pasting those article teasers, I've got replies from best-selling authors, from ghostwriters, coaches, creators, professors, entrepreneurs, new dads, pensioners, and even a guy who was in prison for a crime he says he didn't commit. Number 5, a person sits behind the numbers on your email marketing dashboard. It's fun watching subscriber counts shoot past 10, 100, 1,000, and even 10,000. But don't forget, each one of those numbers represents a real person. Okay, a few might be bots, but most of them have handed over their contact info to you. And you can email them one-to-one, and you can ask them questions like, hey, what are you working on? Or what do you need help with? And there's a good chance they'll reply, because they're used to hearing from you. And the responses that they send you, well, they're a goldmine of ideas for your future emails. Number 6, you can grow your email list in many different ways. I've tried a lot of techniques for growing my email list. List swaps, Spark Loop, newsletter ads, Facebook ads, joint promos, content upgrades, social media CTAs, referrals. The list goes on. Do you know what the secret is to growing an email list? Pick 1 or 2 strategies that align with your ideal reader and your current offer. Track what lead magnet drives the most subscribers and ROI and double down on that. You don't need to do everything, you just need to get a few things right. Number 7, don't stress on subscriber counts. So I tracked my email stats in a spreadsheet. And at one point I worried my list was shrinking. That was when I started sending daily emails. But now I don't mind when people leave or hit the unsubscribe button. They didn't like my content, they didn't like my work, and they were never going to buy anything from me. So why was I paying for them to be on my email list? In fact, I regularly unsubscribe people who aren't a good fit, or if they send me back a rude response or a pic. And that happens more often than I'd like, but I'd rather keep my list clean and engaged. Number 8, pitch early and often. For a few years, I was embarrassed about making an offer about pitching something to my list. Now, I almost always include a relevant call to action for an offer. I'll publish a piece of valuable content or an insight or a story, and then I make an offer at the bottom of the email. You see, if you're running an email list, you're running a business. Creating some valuable or insightful content, and then saying, hey, this is what I sell or this is how I can help, that's a fair exchange. Most people don't pitch enough in their emails. If you're running a newsletter or if you're running an email list, you're running a business. Give people something valuable and then ask for the sale. The worst thing you can do is grow an email list and forget to email them because you don't want to annoy people or not make an offer. Consistency is key. Number 9, readers don't think about your emails as much as you do. Connie told me recently she doesn't want to annoy her readers with her emails, and I get that. As I've said before, that was a problem I faced. I faced that problem when I fired up MailChimp and even when I moved to ConvertKit. The only problem is things look busier on the inside of your business than they do on the outside. If you're not emailing your list, somebody else is emailing them and they're doing it right now. So you may as well create some great content and send it to people's inbox. Trust me on this, your email strategy looks busier on your side than from the point of view of your ideal reader or subscriber. Remember, your subscribers opted in to hear from you. You've got great content, send it to them. Don't let them forget about who you are. And if they really are annoyed, that's what the unsubscribe button is for. So if you want to see how I do email marketing, if you want to see how I run a profitable newsletter, check out the other videos on this channel, on this playlist. And then head over to my newsletter at briancollins.com. 25,000 creators, writers and business owners read my daily insights.